Words cannot explain the pain, grief, anxiety, heartbreak you have caused my family. This is by far the worst thing we had to endure as a family. We tried countless times to wrap our minds around what kind of human beings could commit such heinous crime on a 7-year-old innocent little boy full of life, laughter, love, and joy. Deshaun Dwayne Williams did not deserve to be treated so badly. Honestly, there is no words to explain in detail the sick, disgusting, demonic, ritual-like crime you committed. There is no logical explanation for your behavior other than your pure evil. This kind of wicked behavior just did not happen overnight, or even the few years you was dating my sister Alicia. This kind of evil was embedded in you at a young age. It all starts at home. It is clear that your mom and father failed you. You gave red flags early on. They ignored them. Abused child, rejected child, unloved child, SSA child, abandoned child. They did it to you, so you did it to him. You decided not to heal, but to kill an innocent child, not a grown man that could defend himself, but a 7-year-old child. What a coward. The harsh reality is that your mom gave birth to a demon. You took the plea deal, which tells me that you are guilty. You acknowledge that you are. And I can say what I think you deserve. But then none of that matters, because the vengeance is the Lord's. And I ask that God have mercy on your soul.
Thank you, Ms. Hollamon. Thank you. All right, Ms. Ripley. Anything else from the people?
Judge, I would just like to say that this case has been along for a while, and it is truly one of the most egregious cases that I have seen in my career. It's even one of the most egregious cases that our medical examiner has seen, as she has stated to me multiple times. The only good thing I can say about this is that I'm glad that the world and Deshaun's family did not have to see all of the photos, all of the videos of this. So I'm glad that the family was spared from having to have to see Deshaun like that. I think that the agreements that we came to are more than fair in this case, Judge. And I ask that you adopt them.
Thank you. Anything on behalf of the probation department, Ms. Johnson?
Your Honor, the probation department would ask that you close out docket number 22001978 without improvement.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sharp, go ahead, and Mr. Traylor, you can come forward, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Well, obviously everything that Ms. Hollamon said is accurate, and frankly a parent's, aunts, uncles, grandparents' worst nightmare. This is generally the time, Judge, where my client apologizes for what he did. And this by no means is any disrespect to the young man's family or to this court. You just heard me argue a motion, and quite frankly, depending upon what my client's family has to say, once we discuss the matter, there may be legal issues that continue or not. So I don't think I'll try to be a good lawyer And so if it appears as if my client was not apologetic, was not sympathetic, that's not the case at all, and I'll have to take the blame for that. Otherwise, as I've indicated, everything seems accurate. You've read the pre-sentence investigation report. There's really no reason to belabor a point. I'll apologize. This is something that never should have happened. And hopefully nobody in that family or anybody else's family will have to go through it again. Thanks for hearing me out, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. Mr. Traylor, is there anything you'd like to say?
No, sir.
Anything on behalf of Ms. Hollamon, Ms. Vermeulen? And Ms. Hollamon, if
Yes,
you, you can stand up, Ms. Hollamon, but obviously Ms. Vermeulen, you can stay there.
I'm going to stand on the front.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable.
Your Honor.
Do you want to stand there?
I'll stand.
Okay.
Your Honor, from the moment I met Ms. Hollamon, she has presented herself to me as a woman in grief, fear, disbelief, and also her own guilt. Her failure to protect her child, which is one of the things that is most natural to most, is something that she is living with daily and suffers with herself. The fact that she did not stop what happened to her child is something that she expresses remorse and guilt upon every time that I've had the opportunity. And I've met with Ms. Hollamon on a number of occasions. Ms. Hollamon has, at every single moment, expressed remorse for what happened to her son, and also acceptance of the fact that she allowed her fear from what was also being done to her fail to protect her child. She does not stand here as someone who is asking the court to take any excuses from her. She does not stand here to make any excuses on behalf of what happened. But she was also someone that was ready to finally stand up to her abuser for her child, giving him the last bit of rest that she believed that she could, which was to testify for him. Now, she does not say that to mitigate or lessen her failure to protect him, but as far as a way of trying to help her son get the justice that he deserved, and that was the step that she was going to take. And even in doing that and preparing for that, she was fearful to even testify, but she was going to do it, even knowing that he's in custody as well. She has been fearful. Your Honor, she entered and has accepted this plea offer because she understands that as her role as a parent, she failed to protect Sean. And that is something that she's living with daily and will continue to live with for the rest of her life. We do ask the court to accept and the plea agreement and offer that was made in this case and sentence her accordingly to the offer that was accepted. It is within the guideline range. It does not exceed the guidelines, even though it is near the higher end. The guideline max was 22 years. The plea offer in this case is 20, and we ask that the court accept that along with the 711 days of jail credit.
Thank you, Ms. Vermeulen. Ms. Hollamon, is there anything you'd like to say? Okay, thank you. I will indicate to both defendants that you may file an application for leave to appeal your conviction and sentence. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney and furnish the attorney with the transcripts and file necessary for you to handle your appeal. Your request for an attorney must be made within 42 days. With regards to credit time, as stated, Mr. Traylor is going to have 710 days credit for the time that he has served in the Wayne County Jail. Ms. Hollamon is going to have 711 days credit for the time that she has served in the Wayne County Jail. With regards to costs and fees, Mr. Traylor will have $1,300 in court costs, $68 in state costs, $130 in crime victims assessment fee. There will be no verbal, electronic, written, or electronic or physical contact with lisha Hollamon or the family of Deshaun Williams in any way. With regards to Ms. Hollamon, there will be $400 in attorney fees, $68 in state costs, $1,300 in court costs, and $130 in a crime victims assessment. With regards to Mr. Traylor's probation case, this is case 22-001978. He will be closed out of probation with credit for 710 days served, and it will be without improvement. HIDA will be revoked on that case as well. The case has been a very difficult case for everybody involved. Deshaun Williams is 7 years old. He died of blunt force trauma to his head and his pelvis. Multiple blunt force blows to his head and to his pelvis. Burns were on his leg. Hot water was poured over him. He was tortured. Now, with regards to Ms. Hollamon, she facilitated this and then lied to police about what happened. Mr. Traylor tried to first blame it on somebody else and lied to police as well. This is a horrible case for many reasons, but I actually was able to hear a lot of the evidence because of pretrial motions. You can hear Deshaun crying for his life on the recording. Neither of these defendants are victims in any way with regards to this case as far as this court's concerned. With regards to Ms. Hollamon, and I do have a lot of respect for all of the attorneys, Ms. Pernulik, Mr. Sharp, Ms. Ripley, but for her actions, Deshaun would never have been tortured in the way that he was tortured. This is the worst case that I've seen in my time as a judge, which is 9 years now. Quite frankly, I've been involved in criminal law for 18 years. This is the worst case that I've seen. And sometimes, people that work in this courthouse, whether it be defense attorneys or prosecutors, judges, deputies, I always worry. I hope never to be desensitized to any violence because we see it on a daily basis. We hope never to be that way. And I'm sure everyone involved in this case will remember this for the rest of their life. And I'm glad to say that did not happen to me. Everybody was moved by the horror that we saw on that video and that audio. It was one of the worst things, probably the worst thing I've ever seen, I've ever heard. And what I can indicate as well, something that I don't always, I almost never say this at a time of sentencing. But based on what I have said so far, based on how horrible of a case this was, based on what Deshaun, a 7-year-old innocent boy, had to suffer, I hope that Ms. Hollamon, and I hope the parole board hears this and looks back on this 20 years from now for Ms. Hollamon and 28 years from now with regards to Mr. Traylor. Mr. Traylor deserves to spend 60 years in prison. Ms. Hollamon deserves to spend 40 years in prison for what they did to Deshaun. I will adopt the sentence agreement in this case, and with regards to Ms. Hollamon, sentence her to 20 to 40 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and with regards to Mr. Traylor, sentence him to 40 to 60 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Thank you, everyone.
What you sentence him to what?
40 to 60 years. I'm sorry, 28 to 60 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. I apologize. I misread something.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, Mr. Sharp. I was looking.
No,
at
no
the-
problem. No
You can
problem.
probably figure out. I was looking at the Mexican. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure
I got that right. Though. Yeah.
Yeah.